It's IDing me as a person, which is good. That's good. That's how it's supposed to work. We've got a little whispering droid thing right here. This is a TV, a laptop, apparently.
What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while, but I just thought this would be a fun project for me to showcase for you guys, because it is PC related, computer related, stuff like that. But let's just get right into it. You know the title, you know why you clicked on the video, so let's get right into it. All the links will be down in the description. As of recording this right now, I haven't figured out how I'm going to give out the source code. It might just be through GitHub, stuff like that, but it might be a second. So if you're early in the video, it might not be out yet, but it will eventually. So eventually the source code will be out, and then you guys can copy it over and edit it, do whatever you want with it. So but this isn't meant to be like a beginner Python class or whatever. It's not really a class at all. I'm just kind of showcasing what you guys can change, what's going on. So all the like imports and stuff like that, I'm assuming if you clicked on this video, you kind of know a little bit about coding Python. I recommend going through like a beginner Python course just so you can understand what you're looking at, but I'll still make it friendly for newer people to understand what to edit if they just want to download this and run it on their own cameras and see how it works, because it is fun to watch yourself move around. Let's get started. So right here, this video stream, this is what I made to capture and detect my camera. So right here, what you guys are going to want to change, like I said, I'll just go over what you guys want to change if you do want to change anything. So SRC right here is equal to 0. So this is most likely what you'll want to leave it as. I think it's external. I'll have to bring it up. I might pop it up on screen when I'm editing this, but 0 is the standard camera that you just have plugged in. That's your default camera. 0 will most likely work for you if you just have your camera webcam set to default in Windows. So 0 should have that be detected. The width and the height, I just have this at 620 by 620. Since this is running off of the CPU, which I should mention, this whole code thing is running off the CPU instead of the GPU. That's because I have an AMD graphics card, not an NVIDIA one, so I don't have like CUDA cores. That's a whole different conversation. We don't need to get into that, but this does run off your CPU, so the FPS is very limited with the CPU, but it does still work. You still get like a solid 30 frames. It's still pretty smooth, and you can still see what's going on if you have a good CPU. I would recommend leaving that at 620, because if you go any higher, you're gonna notice significant FPS loss. So definitely just leave it at 620 or below. If you're really struggling for performance, I'd put it at 400 by 400. I would recommend you leave them both the same number, the width and the height, because YOLO detects objects in like a square. Just make these numbers the same. So you would change this and this up top. You would also change it right here with the resolution, the video stream resolution. You change that down there as well, and that should get it fixed for you guys. And you will notice drastic performance the lower you go, and a lot less performance the higher you go. That is the video feed portion of it. The model, so we're using YOLO Nano. We're using the Nano version. This is their smallest version, really basic object detection. So it'll detect like books, a phone, very basic. You can look into it more if you want to. They do have different models. If you're using CPU though, like I am, and what this whole code does is utilize the CPU, I would recommend sticking with Nano just for better performance, and it does track people just fine. So if you just want to see yourself move around with like some ESP, just stick with the Nano one. But you can explore more, so you can change this if you do want to explore more. You'll have to look into that yourself though, because there's a lot of options. Right here, this is the FPS, just calculations for FPS to keep it updated, so you know how much FPS your video feed is getting. I just thought that would be a fun, cool feature to add. So that's pretty cool. You press Q to quit the video stream. So when the video stream is running, you won't be able to just like exit it. You have to press Q to close it, and that will completely close the entire thing and get rid of everything like it's supposed to. Right here, YOLO detection on the frame right here. So this is very important. This conf is what you're gonna wanna change. It's at 0.5 right now, which is kind of the middle ground. So the highest you can go is 1, which means it's 100% confident of what it's detecting. So you would have to put your face inside of the camera pretty much, and it would be 100% confident that it's detecting a human. 0.5 is 50%. So anything it thinks it's correct on, like 50%, if it's a 50-50, it will still show it. So if you have like a bottle in your background and it's actually a toothpaste container or something like that, it'll still say bottle and it'll be a little 0.5 under it. That means it's 50%. It thinks it's a 50% chance of it being a bottle of some sort or something like that. So that's how you can think of it. And the lower you go, so let's just say we change this to like 3 or something, it would show objects based off 30% of what it thinks it is. So if there was like a 30% chance of something being a human, it would still show it. So you can obviously get some pretty weird detections with that. Like if you have coat rack and you have a jacket and a hat, it might pick it up as a human because it only thinks because that's like 30% of a human wearing all the clothes and stuff like that. So 0.5 is kind of the safe ground. That's kind of where you'll probably be good. 0.5 is good. I'd go to like 0.7 if you're noticing a lot of like false positives popping up and your like person box is kind of glitching around. I'd up it to like 0.7 if it is having a hard time detecting a lot of stuff in your background. But 0.5 is the safe ground. Definitely just change that as you need. Verbose, I have this set to false. If you have it set to true, you'll just notice output like this. So you'll see like it's detecting one person. Pretty much this is just showing you what it's detecting when the code is running, but you won't really need to see that. That's just kind of for your own just viewing pleasure. So I just have that set to false. Next, we have calculating stuff. We don't need to go over all that. The watermark, I just thought this would be fun to add. What we're using doesn't currently have like an opacity setting. So what all of this does right here, all that highlighted stuff does, pretty much just give it that opacity effect. So you can change the text to whatever you want. I just have it set to my name, but you can set it to whatever you want, and the little text in the bottom will come up with whatever you want. And then the frame. So you can also change this. As you'll notice at the end of the video, or maybe the sneak peek if you watch the start, the little window says object detection. This is just pretty much the window that pops up for your camera. So whatever you want your video feed to be titled is what that titles. And then this little bottom portion will close everything when you press Q. So yeah, that is pretty much the code. I know that was a long explanation and I wasn't really supposed to go through everything, but I kind of ended up going through everything a little bit. But I hope that was informative. Hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, join my Discord or ask in the comments and I will answer them. But yeah, let's move on to some more exciting stuff.
Hello guys. I know this is a bit much. Because those of you who have seen me before can definitely find older pictures of me, but this is just because there's no updated pictures of me, and I'd like to keep it that way. But yeah, that's just to explain this, get this out of the way. So this is a little video showcasing all the movement. I keep looking over here, by the way. The camera's right there. I keep looking over here because that's where the monitor is, and that's how I can see what's going on, just to make sure everything's working. So as you can see, it tracks me pretty well. It's IDing me as a person, which is good. That's good. That's how it's supposed to work. We've got a little WhisperingDROID thing right here. This is a TV, a laptop apparently. As you can see, it's kind of like fluctuating there. That's just the default training data or whatever YOLO comes with, since we didn't implement any training data ourselves. That could be a future video if you guys want. That is recently what I've been messing around with. That's what you see on screen right there to the side there. The runs, test, train, and valid. That is all the training data that I was messing around with. But yeah, that could be a future video if you guys are interested in that. So that'd be pretty fun. But yeah, this is just a short little showcase. And as I said before earlier in the video, that this is running off of the CPU. So it's only getting like 30 FPS, but 30 FPS on CPU, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for object detection, all that stuff. As you can see, it's tracking me really well. But yeah, that's the showcase, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Maybe future videos like this. This one was fun to make. Kind of just a fun little side project. And yeah, I'll see you guys maybe in the next one. I don't know yet. I know it's been a while, but I will see you guys.